Okay. All right. Rest of you can turn on your cameras whenever. Okay. Hi guys. I'm Arnav. This is Arv. We are your executive board members. For the purposes of this meeting, you don't need to refer to as chair or rapporteur or the terms that I'm pretty sure you're all used to. The purpose of this meeting is very simple: to make you understand what the IMF is, how it functions, what kind of a discussion are we going to be having specifically, and certain things that we need to keep in mind with respect to rules of procedure. And of course, if you have any doubts about the agenda, you can clear that out with us. Now, before I start, can you raise your hands in Zoom and tell me if this is your very first MUN ever? Just raise your hands. So if you click on participants on the bottom right corner, guys, I think you all have Zoom. You used it before. I'm sure you have. So raise your hands. Okay. All right. Kritika, Divishi, Tina, Rishi, Ashvi. Okay. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Not too many. Okay. Right. That's good. And how many of you are in grade 9th or below 9th? Raise your hands. Okay. All right. 1, 2, 3. So, Kritika, which class are you in?
I'm in 9th.
Okay. Rishi, which class are you in?
I am in 9th.
Okay. Samriddhi?
I'm in class.
Sorry?
Class 8.
Class 8. Okay. Devishi?
Class 8.
8th. Dev?
I'm in 9th grade.
You're in 9th grade. Okay, perfect. Now, guys, for a very simple reason, this is not a, I'm sure even though you're in 9th grade, some of you must have done MUNs before. But the purpose of which, why I'm asking this is, IMF is a slightly tricky committee to wrap our heads around without knowing the basics of economics and financial systems. And the committee can get complicated sometimes. Although this agenda, we're not going to be getting into that. But there are certain Vidhi Bhaiya sitting in this room that are not in this room that are most certainly going to fuck with our heads. Pardon my language, but yeah. So my job is to make sure that you're all on the same playing field and there is no discrepancy of any kind. That's why we're having this meeting. Okay. Before I get into that also, I'll introduce myself a little bit so you know who I am. Then Arv will do the same. And yeah, that's how we will go about doing this. And before I even get into that, is there anybody who has to leave the meeting early, before 7 o'clock, let's say? Anyone who has to leave before 7?
No, sir, but actually I have a very bad internet connection, so it might go anytime. That is a possibility.
That is no worry. But anybody who has to leave, like who has other commitments or something like that, tuition or क्या tuition होगी यार तुम्हारी, but ठीक है कोई बात नहीं. All right, you will learn. I can say this especially with this committee specifically. I scored a 92 on my economics, and I have never opened my economics book even in 12th grade. I'm very proud of that, and this committee is one of the reasons why I've been able to do that. So yeah, you will learn 10,000 times more than one tuition class in this one committee. Okay, all right. Bragging out of the way, my name is Asha Bhardwaj, as you can probably see. I am in my final year of study in the University of London. I have my final exam on the 9th of June. And what else about me? I work for an international think tank that works with the United Nations directly as their head of PR and communications. I have been doing MUNs pretty much longer than any of you in this. So I know what I know, and I hope that I'm able to tell you that in a very knowledgeable manner. In terms of, yeah, I think that's pretty much all you need to know about me. I'm a total nerd, but also at the same time, not a nerd. So yeah, I have a very confusing personality, let's just say. Okay, that out of the way, Arf, you have the floor.
Thank you. My name is Arf Srivastava. I'm 16 years old and I just got into 11th grade 1 week back. Super proud I passed 10th grade. Studies is not my cup of tea. I barely study. And I like to talk. And I can talk a lot. So you won't ever hear me silent. You'll constantly be troubled with my voice in your ears. So yeah, and I hope to have a great session with all of you.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Also, guys, very chill session. Okay, koi like delegate of so and so. You're not delegates right now. You're delegates in the committee. To me, you are Anumitra, Anushka, Arf, Ashutosh, so on and so forth. Okay. All right. Okay, let me ask this also, because sort of important. Have any of you done an economic committee before? By an economic committee, I mean something like an ECOFIN, ECOSOC, the World Bank, the IMF, if you've done that, even UNDP, if some of you might have done that. Any of you? Okay, one person, ECOSOC. All right, UNDP. Okay, anybody else? Okay, no. All right. No worries. So, FATF, yeah. FATF, I don't consider that to be a traditional agency per se. Doesn't come under the UN specialized agency. So, generally not considered that. But FATF bhi kariye, so you can tell me that also. That also works. If you've ever done that. Okay, all right. So for the absolute first timers who've never done an MUN before, guys, don't be intimidated by any of this. You will have a separate session with Aspirant India, who will explain to you the rules of procedure of the MUN and so on and so forth. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. What I'm going to spend more time is on IMF, what we do, how we function, वगैरह वगैरह वगैरह. Okay, that's what you're gonna hear of. Cool. Okay, all of us are new. Perfect. Trust me, even I am new. The last time I did IMF, I was in 12th grade. Yeah, so it's been a while for me also. So I am just as new as all of you are. Okay. Have you gotten a chance to go through the background guide? Any of you?
Yes, sir.
Anyone else? Aditya, when did they get their background guide?
Yesterday evening, sir.
Yesterday evening. चलो ठीक है फिर तो permissible. कहीं हो जाते 3-4 दिन तो बहुत सुनते तुम मेरे से, तो बच गए आज. Okay, it's all right. मेरे से तो कम सुनते, अर्श से ज़्यादा सुनते.
Day before yesterday. I'm sorry, not yesterday. Day before yesterday.
कोई बात. Strongest recommendation, guys. Even if you are experienced, even if you know, oh, I can do this. SDGs, what the hell is this? I can do this. No, please, भगवान के लिए background guide पढ़ के आना. उसके बिना मत आना. ठीक है? Okay. So let's talk economics. All right. I will make sure that I don't make this boring enough for all of you. and make it sound as interesting as it possibly can. So, can somebody tell me what balance of payments means? Complicated way में, uncomplicated way में. Economics पढ़िए. अच्छा, economics किसने पढ़ी है यहाँ पे? ये बताओ चलो. ये भी टेस्ट कर लेते हैं.
As in school?
Yeah, in school, yes.
Yeah, I have.
Okay. And by economics, I mean micro and macroeconomics. More specifically, macroeconomics. Micro तो फिर भी उतना नहीं. Okay. Karthik, so what's balance of payment? नहीं आता कोई बात नहीं, कोई टेंशन नहीं है. It is a complicated topic. It's not that easy.
Sorry, I have no idea about it. I've never heard the term.
Okay, all right. So, guys, do you know what a balance sheet is? Do you all understand what a balance sheet is? Okay, let me explain to you in very simple terms what a balance sheet is. Okay. Imagine you have a locker, okay, that has some amount of money, whatever, X amount. Jitna you imagine karna hai karo. Now, that money that you have in your locker is it's money that you have. It's your money. It's not somebody else's money. So that's an asset for you. That's money you have in your hand. Okay. Now let's say whatever that X amount is, you have paid double. You need to pay double of that to somebody. ठीक है, किसी को आपको पैसे देने हैं, उसके डबल देने हैं. Alright. So 50% you have, 50% you need to get from outside. So that means पहले you had that 50% of money, now you owe 50%. मतलब अब आपको किसी को देने हैं वो पैसे. पहले you had the money, now you've given the money and also taken from somebody. So that money that you've taken is what you owe. What you owe, whatever that might be, is a liability. Balance sheet के left side पे लिखे जाते हैं. ठीक है? Accounts पढ़ोगे, economic, let it on the left side. It's a liability. Liability, even in the simplest terms, is something that you owe. Okay, which is not yours. You've taken from somebody. It's a liability. Something that you own. So your car, your house, your jewelry, the money that you have is an asset that is yours. Okay. Now, in the exact same manner, countries also have a balance sheet. Okay. That is what they own and what they owe. And how that is determined is that every import-export sabne suna hai? That things are imported and exported out of India and comes in India, right? Out of India is export, coming in India is import. So when you import something, obviously आपको पैसे देने पड़ेंगे. Free में तो आ नहीं रहा सामान, right? So there is some amount that you will owe to somebody. So that means that your import is leading to a decrease in the number of money, the amount of money that you have. Right? If you owe money, then you're in negative. If a country buys something from you, which is an export that we do, okay, then that country owes money to you. Mane, it is your money. Right? उन्होंने तुमसे कुछ खरीदा, उनको तुम्हें पैसे देने हैं, तो वो पैसे तो तुम्हारे होंगे ना. Right? So that's a net positive for us. That's a gain for us. So in balance of payments, imports are accounted for as a negative in balance of payments, and an export is accounted for in a positive of balance of payments. समझ आ गया सबको? Got it, everybody? Okay. Now, this is a fairly simplified version of that. Don't quote me to your economics teacher on it. It's a fairly complicated concept. I'm kind of simplifying it for you. Okay. The other thing that you need to remember is we are not living in a world that only has countries functioning in a market. We have organizations like the World Bank, like the IMF, like the UN, like एशियन डेवलपमेंट बैंक, फलान ढिमकान, बहुत सारे इंस्टीट्यूशंस हैं जो काम करते हैं मार्केट के अंदर, जो ये इंपोर्ट एक्सपोर्ट में या बैलेंस ऑफ पेमेंट्स में उनका भी रोल होता है. They are like third parties that facilitate this one-to-one exchange. Now that one of those third parties is the IMF. Got it? इसमें कौन confused है? और हो रहा है वो भी बता देना.
अर्नब भैया, I had to switch off your camera. आपका इंटरनेट लैग हो रहा था ना.
हाँ, right. You can hear me now, na?
Yes, sir, we can.
Okay. हाँ, अभी तक सबको समझ आ गया कि मैं क्या बोल रहा था? जिसको नहीं समझ आया, please raise your hand. And जो बोर हो रहा है, they also please raise your hand. Honestly बताना है. Yes, Uddhav.
Yes, sir, you're told to raise our hands. That's why I've done that.
If you didn't understand or if you were bored.
Oh, I understood.
Okay. All right. Cool. So now we understand that the IMF as a third party has a role to play in it. अब IMF कपड़े तो नहीं बेचता, पेंसिल तो नहीं बेचता, गाड़ियाँ तो नहीं बेचता, तो IMF के पास पैसा कहाँ से आता है? Right? Because if an IMF is a third party, International Monetary Fund, तो इस फंड का पैसा कहाँ से आता है? फंड का पैसा आता है countries. All member nations of the IMF give a certain amount to the IMF. And why they give that amount is in the likely scenario for a lot of countries that their economy fails. The one person that will come to rescue them is the IMF. That's why they contribute money to the fund. Very simple. Everybody understood? Yeah? Okay. All right. Let's take it a step forward. IMF has बहुत सारे functions. और हमें बहुत सारी चीजें समझने की जरूरत नहीं है for the purposes of this committee. So I will stick to one. Okay? Or several. I will name them, not explain all of them. One of the major tasks of the IMF. One second. Okay. Aditya, am I still lagging?
हाँ भैया, बीच में you're lagging, तो कैमरा ऑफ ही कर लो.
एक सेकंड. Okay, all right. So yeah, the IMF has several functions. I'm just going to name them out. सबसे बड़ा function IMF का है to lend money to countries that are in a crisis. Crisis में कैसे होगी? समझ लो, अगर उनका balance of payment बहुत ज़्यादा negative हो गया, या उनकी जो economy है, economy माने ये कैसे समझो? Everybody who is living in India is paying significantly higher amount of money for the same things that people in other countries are. Okay? And that is completely out of hand. मतलब बहुत ही ज़्यादा है. That is that's a situation called hyperinflation and generally requires certain stabilization measures. कभी कभार वो central bank कर सकता है एक country का, कभी कभार नहीं कर पाता. Okay, this is not important for you. What is important for you to understand is because countries give money to the IMF, so they can ask for money from IMF अगर वो मुश्किल में हो. If they are stuck in a fit, they can ask for money from the IMF. Very simple, very easy to understand. The second thing that the IMF does is surveillance. अब उसके लिए मुझे इकोनॉमिक्स में जाना पड़ेगा, तो मैं नहीं जाऊंगा, ठीक है? But let's just the simple way you can understand it IMF keeps an eye on everybody, what they're doing, how much money they're making or losing, and so on and so forth. The third function IMF has, which is important for us, is capacity development. Now, every country that is a member of the IMF, उनको support मिलता है IMF से, not just in terms of money, but in terms of what they need to do in order to improve their economy. Now, an economy, simple way to understand that is, समझ लो, हम सब इंडिया में रहते हैं, ठीक है, all population of India, ठीक है, we work, some people work in offices and some people own those offices, right, or own those companies, and everybody is in the territory of India. समझ लो इंडिया एक बॉक्स है, सब लोग उसके अंदर है, उसी के अंदर सब लोग काम कर रहे हैं, खर्च भी कर रहे हैं और कमा भी रहे हैं, ठीक है. So everybody is taking money, giving money, taking money, giving money, taking money, giving money. Now everything that happens under this box in terms of financial exchange, meaning money given, money taken, that can be constituted as economic activity. Uska naam hota hai economic activity, and that is, and all of the economic activities that happen inside this box is the economy of that country. Understood? बॉक्स इमेजिन करो, उसके अंदर ऐसे छोटे 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 रॉड्स हैं, वो इमेजिन करो that are dealing with each other, small scale, large scale, whatever the scale might be. Everybody is functioning within the box. Whoever functions within the box in terms of financial exchange, that's economic activity. That on all economic activities that happen constitutes the economy of the country. Got it? Everybody? क्लियर हो गया? या कंफ्यूज हो तो बता दो, ऐसे शर्माने की जरूरत नहीं है, शादी नहीं हो रही.
Hello.
Yes, Arv Gupta.
Yeah, can you repeat the third point that the IMF does, like the third function?
Capacity development.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes, Ishan.
Sir, so when there's a negative balance of payment, is that similar to fiscal deficits? Yeah, so is that similar to fiscal deficits or not?
Fiscal deficit is a different story altogether. Fiscal deficit meaning, how should I put it? Balance of payment is a part of fiscal deficit. But a negative balance of payment can be a part of fiscal deficit, but no, that is not fiscal deficit itself. Fiscal deficit money, the government takes taxes from us. We all pay GST, or when we go buy a burger at McDonald's, we pays that to the government. And the government tax to the government. Now, when the government is earning money, sometimes they spend more money than they make from taxes. That's a fiscal deficit. So,
okay.
Yeah, negative balance of payment can be a part of that, but generally not. It's not the same thing.
So when there's a fiscal deficit, does IMF do anything to curb that?
अगर fiscal deficit ऐसा है कि समझ लो, it is irreparable by the country's government. A case which happened in Argentina has happened in Argentina several times, where they've had fiscal deficits that they really can't do anything about. Okay, they just stop making enough money to justify quantitative easing that the central bank of that country does. That leads to a situation of hyperinflation where the IMF has to step in to stabilize things. So they take measures like austerity, क्या कहते हैं, fiscal deficit को काटने के लिए they take what's it called? Tax increase, नहीं, not tax increases. Government spending को cut करता है IMF. So on and so forth. There are several steps that can be undertaken. So yes, I mean, technically you can say the IMF can step in, but ऐसा नहीं है कि हर country who has a fiscal deficit, IMF has a role to play in it. ऐसा नहीं होता. Mostly the government handles it, but if it goes out of their hand, then the IMF has to step in. Yes, Uddhav.
So suppose the IMF, there's some problem in maybe sub-Saharan Africa, and the IMF wants to do something about it, some development project. So does it need to take permission from like any countries, or there should be any voting procedure or something like that? Or the IMF is like an independent organization, so it can do it itself?
See guys, there is no independent organization that exists on planet Earth.
Yeah.
At least in my view. Because everybody is funded by somebody. In the same manner, IMF is also funded by its member states. And every member state has a different voting weightage in the IMF. I'm going to come to that. Give me a minute. Let me explain the basics to the people जिनको नहीं समझ आ रहा कि तुम कौन सी भाषा बोल रहे हो. Let me get them onto the same page. Then I will come to all of your tension. Malo, if you want me to get technical with economics, I will get so technical कि तुम बाल नोच लोगे. ठीक है. मैं ऐसे शब्द बताऊंगा इकोनॉमिक्स में जो तुमने जिंदगी भर में नहीं सुना. ठीक है. टेंशन मत लो. बहुत पढ़ा है मैंने इसके लिए. हाँ, okay. So to the other people who did not understand what happened in the past 5 minutes, उससे पहले जो बताया था मैंने, box inside of that economic activity and all economic activities economy. Everybody understood this? Is there anybody who did not understand that? Okay, all right. So every box, meaning every country, is run by a government, right? अब देश है खुद बर खुद तो चलेगा नहीं. Somebody has to be the Modi, has to be the Gandhi, or so on and so forth, right? Somebody has to run the country. The people who run the country are the government. We all understand that. Now, the government also has a budget. जो आप हर साल इंडिया में फरवरी में सुनते हो ये शब्द, that the finance minister is presenting the budget on the floor of the parliament. You will read these headlines every year in the month of February. कब होता है that differs from year to year, but month of February you will definitely read these headlines in India. What is the budget? Like I said, the amount of money you have and the amount of money you have to give. So the government earns money by taxing people, right? We all pay taxes in some way, shape or form, whether be it at McDonald's or whether be it your parents who give income tax. Okay. Why do they pay it? So that the government can keep the roads clean, which they don't do. Keep the roads functioning, which they don't do. Pay the police, which probably they don't do, but let's just say that they do, because that is, at least on paper, they have to do that. So yes, to keep the country functioning, the government needs to earn money, which they earn from taxes. Now, the government also, so while the government is earning money and they're spending money on all of these things, कभी कभार क्या होता है कि they spend more money than they earn. तो तुम मुझसे ये पूछोगे, सर ऐसा कैसे हो सकता है? जिस बंदे के पास उतना पैसे ही नहीं है, वो पैसा खर्च कैसे कर सकता है? Well, the government has something called the golden treasure of Indian government. No, it's called the Reserve Bank of India or the central bank of that country. ठीक है? So central bank का काम होता है कि जब गवर्नमेंट अपने औकात से ज्यादा पैसे खर्चते, ठीक है, तो उनके इस एक्स्ट्रा ऑर्डिनरी एक्सपेंडिचर को बचाने के लिए और उनकी नाक बचाने के लिए एंड द कंट्री को स्टेबल रखने के लिए, they need to give money to the government. They do that in a lot of different manners that I am really not going to get into, because that is again going to get very complicated. Repo rate, reserve rate, मेरे को पूरी मैक्रो इकोनॉमिक्स पढ़ानी पड़ेगी तुम्हें, एक दिन नहीं कर सकता हूँ. ठीक है, इतना समझ लो, गवर्नमेंट अगर ज्यादा पैसा खर्च देती है अपनी औकात से, तो उसको कौन पैसा देता है? सेंट्रल बैंक. अब कभी कभार क्या होता है कि वो इतना ज्यादा औकात से बाहर चली जाती है, मतलब इट्स लाइक country of Democratic Republic of Congo is spending money like it's United States of America. Okay, so in these scenarios, they are spending above and beyond what they are capable of doing. In such a scenario, they come to IMF because they say that we will go bankrupt, we will lose all money that we have, and our economy will essentially collapse. Please save us. In that sense, IMF comes into the picture and then saves the day for them. That is the story. Now, IMF पैसा कैसे देता है, मैं उस पे भी आऊंगा. पहले मुझे ये बताओ, ये सबको समझ आ गया जो मैंने अभी बोला?
Sir, doubt. So this is basically when debt to GDP ratio increases, right?
Oh my God, यार तुम ना debt to GDP ratio.
Sorry, sir.
रुक जाओ.
नहीं sir, sorry sir.
अगर ऐसा होता ना कि debt to GDP ratio increase हो जाती and the IMF had to step in, then the 15 biggest economies of the world had to be funded by the IMF if the debt to GDP ratio was a problem.
No sir,
USA,
like
China, India, everybody has a debt to GDP ratio problem. But that's a very different thing to calculate altogether. No, the IMF does not come into the picture at.
Okay.
मतलब ऐसा नहीं है कि debt to GDP ratio substantially increase होगी तो the IMF will step in. ऐसे नहीं होता. There are special scenarios where the IMF will step in. Okay. अच्छा भाई, उद्धव के doubt को छोड़ के, guys, don't show me blank faces. Very honestly, you have doubts. Ask me that. तुम्हें क्या लगता है मेरे को कोई करने की जरूरत है मुझे ये कि मैं जो मतलब आया हूँ अपनी मीटिंग छोड़ के, काम छोड़ के, कि मैं आऊँ तुम्हें पढ़ाऊँ IMF क्या होता है? मेरे को कोई लड्डू नहीं मिल रहा है इसके लिए. ठीक है, तो एक्चुअली में बताओ. टेल मी इफ यू हैव डाउट्स. I am more than happy to help you guys out.
I have a doubt.
Committee session कर दो. Get everything sorted right now. And I'm sorry, Ishan, to cut you.
Yes.
Oh, no, it's not an issue.
Yeah,
so my
Ishan,
doubt is, so I mean, I'm still confused about the revenue source of IMF.
Okay, I'll. So based on every country's economic standing in the world, which the IMF keeps a track of, they will assign a quota to a country. Based on what the country's quota is, they need to put in money into the IMF. The IMF is essentially a fund, okay, International Monetary Fund. और fund की funding आती है from member states. कौन कितना पैसा डालेगा is dependent upon the quota that they have in the IMF, which is again dependent upon their economic standing in the world. So Congo is not putting the same amount of money as USA, and USA and India are putting very different amounts in. So that is dependent upon उनकी economy, उनका economic status, और वो कितना पैसा डाल सकते हैं IMF के अंदर. So that is how the IMF is funded. It also has private donors, but we don't get into that, at least in this particular context. All we need to understand is, yes, IMF funded by member states based on quotas, which are based on their economic standing in the world and based on IMF.
Okay.
Whenever you hear the, I'm pretty sure you must have heard the news that the IMF downgraded the GDP growth of India from so and so to so and so. News पढ़ते हो तो पता लगेगा. Yeah.
I have a doubt. What benefits do the member countries get by putting the money?
That's exactly what I was telling Divishi. The benefit that they get is that in a scenario where the country is facing a problem, okay, a substantial problem with their finances, उनके पास जितना पैसा है या उनकी इकोनॉमी जैसी है, अगर उसमें कोई प्रॉब्लम आती है, then the IMF comes to their rescue. And that is not dependent upon, so let's say, rupees into the IMF. But India has a problem that needs 1,500 rupees to solve. Okay. in that scenario also, ऐसा नहीं है that the IMF will only give India back rupees 500 rupees. No, they might give them 1500 rupees because they are a member of the IMF and they are a important member. They will be given more than the amount that they have put into the IMF. So this is another advantage that countries get by putting money into it. Another advantage they get is, समझ लो, some countries don't have the financial know-how, yeah, the knowledge of how to run their box efficiently. कि सबसे अच्छे तरीके से हम अपनी इकोनॉमी को कैसे चला सकते हैं. कभी कभार they are not able to do that or they don't have the experts to do that. In that scenario, IMF helps them out. They tell them कि आप क्या क्या कर सकते हो, क्या क्या नहीं कर सकते हो. They advise them on things that they can do in order to keep everything stable, keep everything sound. So all of these benefits come for countries when they put money into it. समझ आ गया?
Yes.
Anybody else? Any doubts?
Yeah, so like the IMF, does it mimic the sovereign funds on a larger scale?
Acha. Okay. All right. No, Ishan. The simple answer is no. I'm not going to explain everybody what a sovereign fund is, because they are of many types, and it is another complicated economic thing that I don't want these kids to get confused by. But the short answer is no. It's not.
Okay.
Because a sovereign fund will only have the sovereign involved in it. You know? The basic difference.
Mhm.
Okay. Anybody else? Any doubts? Guys, first
That
timers.
I have a doubt.
Yes, okay. Am I saying your name right? Krishanchi?
Krishanchi. Yeah.
Krishanchi. Lovely name. Yes, Krishanchi. Tell me.
So I have a doubt that if any country cannot put in funds in the IMF, like they don't have that economic standing to even put funds in the IMF, and if they have a deficit or if they are running a shortage or something, so will the IMF help that country?
Yes, it will. But that is dependent upon factors that I'm going to come to. But the short answer is yes. The IMF can put in money into countries that might not be its member states. क्योंकि कई countries member states ही नहीं होते, कई observer members होते हैं. So on, well, काफी सारी चीजें. But yes, short answer is yes. They can do that if the members decide to do so. Okay. Anybody else?
Yeah, so like if a country takes loans from IMF, then does the country need to ask IMF for the decision makings also?
For the decision making, not exactly, Devashi. I'll come to the loan giving process in a little bit. Tab you will get more clear on this specifically, what happens in that. But yeah. Okay. All right. Anybody else? Any doubts? Arif, ये वाले जो doubts आने हैं जो मैं कह रहा हूँ बाद में address करने, keep noting them down. Okay. Anybody else?
Yeah.
और board कौन हो गया? हाँ, Arif Gupta. Tell me.
So, for example, if a country needs funds, but that country is not a part of the IMF, and if the IMF is also out of funds, in that case, will the IMF ask for funds from the countries which are a part of the IMF?
I'm sorry, Arif, you got disconnected in the middle, or I got disconnected in the middle. Can you repeat that question?
Yes. Okay. So, for example, there is one country which is in need of funds, and it asks the IMF to lend some amount of money. Okay, but then the IMF is also out of funds. So in that case, will IMF ask the other members of the IMF to provide funds?
Okay. So, Arif, the simple answer to that question is there is like a 0.00000000001% chance of the IMF running out of funds because they have several measures in place that allow for that not to happen. In a scenario, let's say it does take place, then there are like there are measures in place that will stop that. But the logical answer to your question will be that yes, it will ask its member states to fund more money into the IMF in order to solve the problem that they are undertaking. So yeah, I mean, sort of. It's an unconventional question and it has a very unconventional answer that I can get into, but then again, I'll have to get slightly complex.
Okay, one more thing. So I'm not sure.
But yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not sure if you answered this earlier, but then are there any other means of IMF getting funds apart from the existing members?
So yes, there are private donations. There are the interest that countries pay that is not a part of their funding procedure, like as in not member state contribution, not those. The ones that the countries that take loan from the IMF have to pay interest on that and have to give that money back. So that is another source that the IMF has. Other than that, they might also be funded by other organizations that are not private donors, but institutional donors. Also, in terms of they do sometimes, especially to nations which are not part of the IMF, although there are very few of them. If they do work with those countries, sometimes there are other ways that the IMF can make money from that country itself. That is not a तो कभी कभार वो उनको चार्ज कर सकते हैं वगैरह वगैरह बहुत सारी चीज़ होती है कंसल्टेंसीज की फी होती है then even in terms of the kinds of financial instruments they're using to give out loans. So sometimes what also happens is IMF will set up projects in countries in conjunction with other institutions, and that is another revenue source for them. So if you go online and search for IMF projects, which IMF is funded, जहाँ से उनको revenue मिलता है, so whatever money they make from those projects also is revenue for the IMF. So there is that as well. So that is not the only one. All of these are also. Okay. Right. Yes. Anamitra.
Yeah, thank you. So specifically asking that, the developed countries who kind of don't really have a lot of problem with funds and who, don't really require funds from IMF are still a part of IMF. So what are they gaining out of IMF in the end?
Very interesting question, Anamitra. A very good question. Okay. So what are the developed countries gaining out of the IMF? What they are gaining is control. What they're gaining is economic leverage. Now, what is economic leverage? So guys, there is not one box in the world. There are 200 something boxes in the world. Okay. 194 of them being IMF members. Now what happens is that an economically weaker country is facing an issue. Okay. And they need to take money from the IMF. Voting weightage than the developing or the underdeveloped nations. So that gives them leverage. They can also decide how the financials of a country will look to the world. So let's say, you are running a multi-trillion-dollar infrastructure company, okay? And you are looking at the IMF reports. and you're deciding where to put your money next. In which country, in which developing nation are you going to put your money next? The country which has a more favorable outlook to the world will get more money. And that is determined by these organizations. So there is a lot of benefit that these countries get. Along with the fact that the more stable the world economy is, the more stable every box is, the more money the developed nations will make. Or every nation will make, for that matter. So there is that added thing to it as well. Okay? Okay.
I have a question.
Yes, yes, Diveshi.
Can IMF print their own money, like just in case they have to, they run out of money or funds?
As the only one thing that they can do, along with a lot of others. But yeah, no, it can't print its own money.
But sir, isn't there anything
It's
like
not a
SAP or SDR, which does something like that only, which convert money into like the 5 major currencies, which are pound, dollar, and the Chinese yen? Isn't that like something similar to what you were saying?
So I think Uddhav, what you're talking about is the financial reserves, the monetary reserves that countries have, that are kept in, that are floated across the five major currencies of the world, being the pound, being the dollar, so on and so forth, yen being others. The IMF does not do that, like a lot of countries or central banks would do. No, the IMF does not do that.
Sorry, sir.
So yeah, that's the simple answer to that. नहीं, sorry, कोई दिक्कत नहीं. Yes, anybody else? मैं IMF पे आ जाऊँ वापस. इकोनॉमी समझ आ गई, इकोनॉमिक एक्टिविटी समझ आ गई, बैलेंस ऑफ पेमेंट समझ आ गया. कैपेसिटी डेवलपमेंट पे जाऊँ मैं ना जाऊँ?
So you can proceed.
Guys, मेरे ना इस रूम में कितने लोग बैठे हैं? 21. Exclude Arvind, Aditya. I need to hear 19 voices in my head right now, in my ears.
Sir, you can proceed.
You can
So you
proceed.
forgot me as well.
So you can proceed.
You can proceed.
Okay, all right. So now let's come to capacity development. Like I said, the IMF advises a lot of countries, okay, on a lot of different aspects. There are n number of things that the IMF tells to countries, what they can do, how they do it, so on and so forth. Okay. Now, our focus is on capacity development. That is the agenda that we have at hand, and that is what we will be specifically focusing upon. Just give me a second. Okay, just give me 1 second. Okay. All right. Guys, come back. Come back. Okay. So, now the IMF के उसमें जाने से पहले, how many of you have done more than 5 MUNs before? Raise your hands. Only 2 people. अच्छा, ठीक है. 3 people. ठीक है. All right, no worries. So, all right. So, unlike some other committees that you might be used to doing, okay, IMF का voting structure is not one-to-one. So, for example, if you were USA and Sweden in the General Assembly, your vote towards something, one vote will mean one vote, as in it will be weighted as one vote, it will be worth one vote. Per whatever nation you might be, चाहे तुम स्वीडन हो, चाहे तुम कॉन्गो हो, चाहे तुम साउथ अफ्रीका हो, चाहे तुम यूएसए हो, your one vote will be equal to one vote towards any decision that the General Assembly takes. Okay? Same with HRC, same with CSW, same with every UN body that exists. However, the exceptions come into picture when we talk about the IMF. The IMF has a very different voting structure. So यहाँ पे India will have a different standing than France. France will have a different standing than South Africa. South Africa will have a different standing in terms of their voting privileges. Why? Because we are a fund, like we talked about. तो जो ज़्यादा पैसा डालेगा हम उसकी ज़्यादा बात सुनेंगे, सीधी बात, ठीक है? So, in that sense, the amount that a country puts in determines the weightage that their vote is given. It's as simple as that sounds. जो जितना ज़्यादा पैसा डालेगा उसकी उतनी ज़्यादा सुनी जाएगी IMF के decision making process के. Now, how that is determined, again, that will be something that I am generally going to skip out on, just in the favor of making you guys understand that, okay, it's based upon the amount of money that a country puts. Is anybody confused by this? Does anybody have a question about this? Yes, no, maybe?
Yeah.
So we understood.
Isn't
Yes, sir.
consensus supposed to exist in the MUNs and all?
या अब कंसेंसस वाली बात आ गई है. अभी तक तो हाँ एमयूएन कर रखे हमने, हमें क्या सेशन की जरूरत है. अब आ गए ना सब लाइन पे. हाँ बेटा, यहाँ कंसेंसस नहीं चलती. दिस इज द IMF. That is exactly why we are all here and I'm explaining all of this to you. Is MUN supposed to be based on consensus? Absolutely, 110%. But then if you go to the Security Council and you say, sir, why does Russia have a veto? I also want veto. I am India, but I don't care. I want veto. Will not happen. You're working on consensus. Absolutely, you are. But that depends upon your lobby. The veto in the Security Council is inscribed in the UN Charter. The weightages for the IMF are prescribed in the Articles of Agreement of the IMF. That's why it's very different. So, yeah.
I have a question.
There is that. Okay. Arv, you had a doubt.
Yeah. So, for example, in IMF, so if there are two countries, country A and country B, so if country A puts more money than country B, then in the case of voting and decision making, will the vote of country A will be more valued than country B?
Exactly what weightage of vote means. Precisely. It will be.
Okay.
It will be. So IMF में voting is divided upon voting percentages. Okay. Which is a percentage of how should I put it? Your special drawing rights. Okay, basis pay. Special drawing rights are basically amount of money. Another way to put that. So yeah, it will be different. 110%.
So
Okay.
is it possible if the committee or someone from the Manhattan MUN can share us the list of like the weightage of all things so that like we understand it ourselves?
सब दिया हुआ. नहीं कोई नहीं. आदित्य तूने भेजा ना, तुम चप्पल खाएगा मुझसे. ना करो, रिसर्च करो, ढूंढो. मैंने इतना बता दिया तुम्हें. Go look for it.
Sir, what's the agenda for IMF?
I am coming to that.
So I have a
Okay.
doubt.
Yes, Devashi.
Are the Security Council the main decision makers?
Sorry?
Are the Security Council like the main decision makers?
Security Council कहाँ से आ गया इसमें? नहीं बाबा, that's a different thing. IMF में IMF are the decision makers. Board of Governors.
Sir, also, is there any private organization or any private firm that has control over the fund?
Nope.
Okay.
So can
Yeah.
So can you explain us the difference between World Bank and IMF funds?
Oh boy. Okay. All right. Simple difference मैं समझाऊं तो simple difference ये है that structurally in their functions the IMF is very different, not very different from the World Bank. Both of them are working towards the same particular goal, but the World Bank has a mandate which is much larger than the IMF. The IMF you can consider to be
Smaller brother of World Bank.
Yes, precisely. And IMF focuses more upon financial monetary aspects. The World Bank focuses more on the economic developmental aspects. So the nature of their work is slightly different, but however, in principle, they are not different. They're not very different. I mean, literally, if you go to Washington, D.C., this is IMF office, this is World Bank office.
Yes, sir.
So, I mean, they're very different from one another. But yes, nature-wise, IMF has a more monetary role to play, financial role to play. World Bank has a more developmental role. That's the major difference. Okay, anybody else? Why are people leaving? ये क्या हो रहा है? Confused हो गए. Oh my God. Okay, all right. Guys, इतना complicated नहीं है ये समझना. ऐसे डरो मत. बैठो समझाने के लिए. इतना कोई मुश्किल काम नहीं है. ये तो मेरे से किसी ने पूछा ही नहीं सर यहाँ पे वो रोल प्ले होगा या नहीं होगा. नहीं होगा. मैं करने नहीं देने वाला वो. ये रिव्यू मीटिंग है. कहाँ बैठे हो? आदित्य ने सही बोला, कंसेंसस में चलेंगे हम बिल्कुल 110% ऑन कंसेंसस. तो योर एजेंडा इज नॉट दैट ना. ओके, आई विल कम टू एजेंडा नाउ. So the agenda that we have at hand is the SDG initiatives that the IMF is invested in. So IMF invests in a lot of projects, like I told you. Okay, there are projects that it will undertake other than just giving money to countries. They will be directly involved in a lot of initiatives and a lot of projects. There are certain sustainable development goal related initiatives that the IMF has invested in. Okay? Now, what we as members need to do is understand and review the money that we've put into these initiatives. कि ये पैसा हमने जो लगाया है वो सही लगाया है या गलत लगाया है. हमें निकालना चाहिए और ज़्यादा डालना चाहिए. अगर डाला है, how is it being utilized? Can we give more assistance? If we can, in what way can we give more assistance? That is the agenda at hand. What are these initiatives? They are in your background, right? So you can go and read that. You will understand what they are. But basically, they are those initiatives and you have to review them one by one in the committee. That is the agenda that you have. If there are new initiatives that you come up with that you want to invest, you want the IMF to invest in, you can most certainly bring that proposal onto the floor and have a discussion. Okay. Yeah. Anybody doubts?
Sir, will we have to make position papers?
Nope.
Okay, so also another question. Like my country is France, so we need to find the projects where IMF is invested in, like that.
Find
that are
they're in your
SDG
background guide. They're in your
right.
background guide.
So like
You have
how
to
do
read
these
through them. Yeah.
how do these projects pertain to a country? I mean, what role does a country play in this research?
The role that your country plays is as an investor. You're an investor in IMF which has invested their money into several things. And
Okay.
you are coming in and sitting and reviewing कि अच्छा भाई ठीक है, 2 रुपया यहाँ गया, 3 रुपया यहाँ गया, 4 रुपया यहाँ गया, ये 2 रुपये यहाँ क्यों गए? Why is it there? Is this 2 rupees being utilized in the most efficient manner? If yes, okay, good. Can it be improved even more? Can the 2 rupees turn into 4 rupees? Can it be turned into 10 rupees? If it is not going well, let's say you invested 3 rupees, that is not giving you the return on investment that it should, and it's not achieving the goal that it should. Should we remove the 3 rupees? Should we modify something? How do we play around with the money that we've put in is what you have to discuss. Yes. Uddhav.
So suppose there's some country with which we have very bad ties with, and is IMF like a good place to play dirty politics that can like basically if there's some development initiative that should be taken in Cambodia, but we just say like bullshit about all that because it is not lowering like tax barriers and all that stuff. Or no, we shouldn't do like anything like that in this committee.
I mean, guys, I don't know what you mean by dirty politics, first of all. Second of all, if that does not exist in this particular committee, you're not going to be marked upon for it, very honestly. All you need to do is bring up the best solutions. That should be your goal. Jitna better solution hoga, utne better number hoga. Simple. If you want a simpler equation to understand that. So yeah. However, yes, if there are structural barriers, जैसे तुमने Cambodia का example दिया, that they're not lowering trade barriers, absolutely bring that up. Why not? But is that related to SDG initiatives? That's a question you need to ask yourself.
Okay.
मैं अगर तुम्हें majorly बताऊं, guys, so your objective is to look at the SDG initiatives that the money has been put into. And then see कि इन initiatives के साथ क्या क्या किया जा सकता है. Your goal is not so much IMF as it is the initiatives that the money has been put in. और वो पैसा और better तरीके से कैसे utilize किया जाता है is your goal. Your goal is not so much to understand IMF, voting structures, पैसा कहाँ से आता है, कहाँ जाता है. Not so much that, although understanding that is important. But yes, what is more important than that to understand is the initiatives, how they function, where they function, can they function better, should they be scrapped off, so on and so forth. That's your goal. Yes, Arv, you were raising your hand.
Yeah, like I just wanted to confirm. So as my country is Spain, so when I do my research, should I just research on about first of all IMF, how it functions, how it works, and then what are the relations of IMF with Spain? And like apart from that, is there any other thing in which do we have to research upon?
SDG initiatives. All that is
SDG, okay.
maybe not as important as researching the SDG initiatives. Review them. Review them in the sense that if you were putting your money into these initiatives, what would you do? How would you review it? Okay. If you invest your money into the initiatives that are listed in the background, right? What would you do with it? Okay. Is there any new initiative that you would possibly come up with? All of those things are things that you need to keep in mind. Okay. Anybody else?
Is Vietnam. So, like, if I'm giving a review of what all initiatives Vietnam did to pursue the SDGs, how is that going to support the other member countries?
Sorry, Devashi, can you repeat your question?
My country is Vietnam, so it's like I'm giving the review of what all initiatives I took to pursue the SDGs, like what all Vietnam took. So, like, how is that going to support the other member countries?
No, Devashi. So the thing that you need to read about and focus on is where IMF has put money into, not your SDG initiatives, IMF ke SDG initiatives, and where IMF has put money into when it comes to promoting SDGs. That is what you have to read. Again, guys, background guide. It all comes back to that one document.
Like, what exactly do I have to search in Google?
Read the background guide, Devashi. Read it. Read it well. Okay? You will understand what you have to research. You've done an MUN before, Devashi?
No, it's my first.
No, you haven't?
Any she hasn't, it's her first.
Okay, all right. So Devashi, read the background guide. Okay. Search the agenda in Google. That's one good way the agenda is about, and then you can figure out your way onto how to research. समझ आ जाएगा आपको. Don't worry about it. If you still have doubts, make sure you send it to me on WhatsApp. WhatsApp them to me. Okay? If you still have.
Okay.
Yes, Uddhav.
Yeah, sir. Suppose if Peru has introduced a quite crappy policy, which would be bad for SDGs, then can I like write a chat or talk about in my debates or something like that, or it wouldn't be like something that you would want?
Uddhav, have you done crisis committees before?
Yes, I have.
कितनी करी है?
So just cathedral, that's all.
Huh?
Just no, yeah, twice.
Twice. And what types of committees you generally do?
Normally SC.
जो आपके क्वेश्चंस आ रहे हैं मैं उस हिसाब से हिसाब लगा रहा था कि what type of committees you've done so far. So okay, all right. No, the simple answer to your question is no. That if Peru has bought out a crappy SDG policy, we don't need to give a damn about it. Very honestly, all we need to give a damn about is where IMF's money is and how it is being utilized. That is what we give a damn about. We don't give a damn about what every single country is doing. I mean, to a certain extent we do, but then your larger goal will be हमारा पैसा कहाँ है और हम उसको कहाँ invest कर रहे हैं और उसका क्या result है. That is what you have to review more seriously. Okay? All right. Anybody else? किसी को कोई डाउट नहीं है? सबको
Sir,
सब कुछ
who's
क्लियर
the
हो गया?
person we should contact if you have any doubts?
Sir, can you talk
Me
about
or Arif?
documentation?
Okay.
About documentation. There will be no documentation in this committee.
Sir, can we submit our policy papers? Like if you have a good policy, then can we submit it to laboratory?
No policy paper, no. No policy. बेटा जाके पढ़ो कि IMF में कौन से डॉक्यूमेंट्स सबमिट किए जाते हैं बाय कंट्रीज. Policy paper if you want to give me foreign initiatives that you want to bring up. That sir, that country so and so would like to bring this initiative up. वो पॉलिसी पेपर बहुत रोबास्ट होना चाहिए. पॉलिसी पेपर नहीं, पहले बात तो उसको पॉलिसी ब्रीफ बोला जाता है, ठीक है. And in that policy brief, that has to be related to not your country, it has to be related to IMF and where IMF has put money into. Generally, अगर हम initiatives review कर रहे हैं तो review papers बनते हैं उसके, ठीक है. Review papers बनते हैं, reports बनती हैं for those initiatives. That's what we make generally, and yeah, that's what is generally submitted. But this is a review meeting, guys. I don't expect documentation to really come out. Yes, Krishanchi.
So I have a question that did the pandemic not affect the IMF funds?
Of course it did. But उसका अभी हमारे एजेंडा से क्या रिलेशन है?
Sir, actually, I was reading some document and it just told me like all the economies, such as like in Pakistan, the SDGs growth has been like hindered by like 5 years and all that. So it has had some impact on it. So wouldn't we take that into notice?
Absolutely, you would. 110% you would. Because that is going to be related to the money that IMF has put into SDG initiatives. Huh? So absolutely you will bring that up. 100%.
So last thing, will chits and point of information be allowed?
Chits and points of information. Yeah, it will depend upon the number of delegates we have that day. अगर हमारे पास कम होंगे, जो कि मुझे लग रहा है होंगे, तो I will not really give a lot of weightage to, and I might even change procedure a little bit. So yeah, I'll tell you about that on the day of the conference. Basically.
Sure.
Also,
yeah.
Like
yes,
many, in the normal debates, like normal MUNs, we have opening speeches and all that. So in this, since you said that we're going to present our analysis on the SDG initiatives, जिसमें IMF ने money डाला है. So in the opening, is there going to be will there be an opening speech? And is opening speech? If yes, yeah. What did you say? So, can you repeat that?
Yeah. So Anamitra, basically, I will have to wait till the day of the conference, till the morning, basically the day of the conference, when we're in committee, to decide whether, what type of procedure we will follow, whether we will follow standard UNA USA or will we follow the provisional set of procedures that the IMF follows, or will have some other pseudo version of that. So I'll have to determine that on the day of it. But so far as the content of your speeches, absolutely focus more on analysis. Focus only on analysis. More care.
Oh,
that should be your goal.
Okay. So you have to just in your opening speech, you have to explain what is your analysis on the funds, and you have to, because I just looked at the BG. I think there are 3-4 initiatives. So उसमें से एक ही लेंगे या सब में बोलना है?
I mean, that the committee has to decide here. कि एक 1 by 1 review करोगे ना सबको, तो आपको किस पे बोलना है, you decide that, or you want to, let's say in your GSL you want to talk briefly about all 4 of them and then elaborate on them in the moderated caucuses. So that way it's up to you.
As soon as it comes. Okay, thank you so much, sir.
Yes. Anybody else?
Yeah, sir. Last thing. So जैसे कि हमको ऐसी पॉलिसी देखनी है या फिर जैसे जो बस एक स्पेसिफिक रीजन को इम्पैक्ट करे, जैसे कि जो सब साहरान अफ्रीका या पूरे वर्ल्ड को, या फिर दोनों कर सकते हैं?
Again, repeating the same thing once again. Look at your SDG initiatives. That is your focus. वर्ल्ड को तो इम्पैक्ट करेंगे नहीं वो इनिशिएटिव्स। IMF ने कुछ कंट्रीज के इनिशिएटिव्स में पैसा लगाया हुआ, उन कंट्रीज को रिव्यू करो, उन इनिशिएटिव्स को रिव्यू करो।
ओके सर।
ऐसे नहीं है बेटा ये यहाँ पे, जहाँ पे आप कंट्री अफगानिस्तान उठा रहे हो, वेनेजुएला उठा रहे हो, ऐसे नहीं चलता है। यहाँ पे हम वो डिस्कशन उठाते हैं जहाँ पैसा लगाया, फिर उसको देखा जाता है कि ये पैसा सही लगाया या गलत लगाया।
Sir, one more doubt. Sorry
Yes.
for again asking you all these questions.
No, please go ahead.
So मैंने देखा था जैसे जो भी लोन्स होते हैं, then IMF only gives it on some kind of conditions. तो जैसे कि मैं कोई पॉलिसी ब्रीफ लिख रहा हूँ, जैसे आपने कहा कि शायद अलाउ हो सकती है, तो उसमें वो भी लिख सकता हूँ कि अंडर विच सर्कमस्टेंसेस वुड बी अलाउड, या फिर नहीं?
Guys, conditionality of loans is determined by all member states. और हर कंट्री की कंडीशन सेम नहीं होती, हर कंट्री की कंडीशंस अलग अलग होती हैं। डिफरेंट कंडीशंस फॉर डिफरेंट कंट्रीज सेम नहीं होती। तो keep that thing in mind. If you're writing me a policy brief, Uddhav, be very careful.
Okay.
यहाँ आर्फ बैठा है, ये अटैचमेंट है कि मैं ना डॉक्यूमेंट्स को ऐसे उठाता हूँ और फाड़ देता हूँ, मुझे नहीं फर्क पड़ता कि वो 10 पेज का है, 20 पेज का है, 100 पेज का है। If it's a BS document, I will tear it off and scrap it off. So be very careful with what you are writing. Don't try to gain extra marks by writing a document. Be very careful with what you are writing, how you're writing it, what format you're writing it into. Can it be permissible in an IMF? If let's say I am chairing the meeting, I'm the managing director, I am chairing a meeting of the IMF Board of Governors, and in that scenario, submitting that document to me, would that be permissible or not permissible? Is something that you have to develop. मैं डरा नहीं रहा हूँ. I love documents. I love reading documents. But if it's for the sake of gaining marks, I don't prefer it. If it's the sake of making me understand something even better, let's say you supplement your speech with a document, I would love that. But if you give me a document कि सर बस document ले लो, वो मत करना, please मत करना मेरे साथ, गलती से भी।
ठीक है? कितने पेजेस का होना चाहिए मैक्सिमम?
कितने भी पेज का बनाओ, उसकी कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, but the content needs to be yours first of all. It does not need to be too much plagiarized. मतलब 70% एटलीस्ट तो अपना कंटेंट डालो ना, 30% ले लो असिस्टेंस किसी और की, कोई बात नहीं, पर खुद का एनालिसिस तो डालो। ठीक है, तो पढ़ो और समझो, दिन है काफी तुम्हारे पास। रीड, अंडरस्टैंड एवरीथिंग। 4-5 ही इनिशिएटिव्स हैं रिव्यू करने के लिए, कुछ ज्यादा काम नहीं है, उनको रिव्यू करो, पढ़ो उनके बारे में, एंड या ब्रिंग अप योर एनालिसिस। ओके, एनीबॉडी एल्स, एनी डाउट्स? यस, नो, मे बी? सब सो गए मुझे लगता है।
Can you give me a number so that if I have any more doubts then I can ask you?
Yeah, it's on the group, guys. You can take it from
Okay,
there.
sir. Thank you, sir.
सब सो गए भाई, चलो ठीक है, हम भी सोते हैं। Okay, guys, that is it from my side. In terms of your procedure and all, we will clear that out on the day of the conference. Tension मत लो, बहुत सिंपल रखेंगे, कुछ ज़्यादा complicated नहीं है। And guys, very honestly, okay, read well. Really try to understand what it is all about and why you are coming over here. If we have a good enough debate, we will do it for 2 days. I am sure Secretariat can do that. कि हम इस debate को 2 दिन भी चला सकते हैं. And really be passionate about the debate itself. If you are not, कोई मजा नहीं आएगा. तो या मुझे और आर्फ को ऐसा होना चाहिए कि भाई मतलब सर अवार्ड कैसे दें हम यहाँ पे, सबके सब अमेजिंग थे. I want this committee to be that, if you can make it. Up to you. And yes, you get that badge of honor to also say that, oh, I did an IMF, where I don't think a lot of people have that privilege today, because this committee is really not simulated anymore. Very, very rarely. So, yeah, keep that thing in mind. Come well prepared, and we'll have fun. Okay, guys.
Excuse me, sir.
Thank you, sir. It was a great session. Look, great to meet you.
Thank you for coming, guys. See you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.